If you've ever wanted to build an app, this is exactly how I'd start in 2026. Because you've probably had an idea for an app before. Maybe it was something as small as a way to split the bill with your friends. But realistically, you have to let that go. You're not going to learn how to code just to build a small app. So that idea just dies. But starting today, this doesn't have to happen anymore. I had a random idea for a fun app to use with my friends, and instead of letting it sit in the back of my head, I actually built it. Without ever learning how to code, watching tutorials, or spending months on trial and error, I just described exactly what I had in my head, and about an hour later, I had a fully working app on my screen that I could share with my entire friend group. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how I did it, so the next time you have one of those amazing ideas, you can actually go ahead and build it out yourself. Now, when I say AI can build you an app, you might picture a complicated workflow where you go back and forth with ChatGPT, ask it to write code, and then paste everything into another program. But that's not really building an app. That's just outsourcing the coding to AI and still doing all the manual work yourself. There's a new wave of tools called AI app builders, and they don't just help you build an app, they actually build it for you. You explain the idea, and the tool takes care of the design, logic, and database. You don't have to copy any code, and you never switch between a single program. Now, there are a ton of these tools on the market right now, and most of them fall into two camps. The first category claims to be no code, but the moment you open it, you're hit with dashboards, nodes, and logic flows. And everything becomes more complicated than just coding. They're not built for someone who just has an idea. They're made for users who already know what they're doing. The second camp is the opposite. Super simple, drag and drop builders that are so limited, you never actually get to build anything real. So when I started looking for something that could actually take an idea and turn it into a working app, without spending weeks learning a new tool, I kept running into these same two problems, until I found one tool that finally cracked it. It's called Base 44, and the reason it works is that it's built entirely around one thing. You describe what you want, and the AI builds it. With Base 44, building an app is in your hands. Anyone can do it, and anything is possible. You're not getting overcomplicated with dashboards, and you're not stuck in some limited drag and drop interface. You type out your idea like you're explaining it to a friend, and it handles the rest. Now that we know what tool to use, let's actually go ahead and build our app. You can access Base 44 by clicking the link in the description below, and they're running one of the coolest campaigns I've seen, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But once you're logged in, this is the interface you'll see. Now, the process is super simple. You just go ahead and start typing in this huge box. But I do understand it is pretty hard to just go ahead and start typing. I've developed a 5-prompt workflow that you can follow along through this video so that by the end of it, you have a fully functioning app. Now, the first one is the skeleton prompt. Here we want to explain what we're going to build, the core features, and a simple design line, just so that the AI understands the basics. I'm going to go ahead and build a game app. So I'm going to write, build a mobile-first web app for tracking championship game predictions among friends. I need a robust backend that handles user authentication via email and password, as well as a database to store users and their predictions. Create a prediction form where logged in users can input the winning team, the exact score for both the home and away teams, and a tiebreaker entry for total passing yards. Finally, build a main dashboard that displays a leaderboard of all users and their current predictions. The design vibe is dark, sporty, with neon green accents. Make it look good on an iPhone. Then I'm going to go ahead and send. This is the workflow we'll be using going forward, and the one you'll rely on the most. Once it's done loading, here's the result, and it immediately looks amazing. Now, we're going to massively elevate it from this point on with our next couple of prompts. But to do that, you first have to know how to edit your app once the first pass is done. There are actually 3 different ways that you can edit your app after the first pass, and I'm going to walk you through each and every one of them. Now, the simplest one is visual editing. You can just simply do it by editing different text and sections of your app. Like, for example, here I can go ahead and edit the team name by just typing in a new team. The second one is by screenshotting an aspect of your app, sending it as an image to the chat window, and writing whatever you want to change. So if I want to go ahead and change this icon, I'm going to write change this icon to a star. It immediately changes it. This helps when a section can be highlighted, or when selecting multiple elements isn't possible. You just copy in the image to change it. The third one, and the one we're using right now, is the prompt option, because this leads us right into step 2 of our prompting workflow, where we're going to add the logic prompt. So we're going to write, now let's implement the scoring system. Create a hidden admin page where I can input the actual final result of the game. When I update this result, the app should automatically calculate points for every user based on specific rules. Award 10 points for picking the correct winner, 5 points for guessing one team's exact score, and 25 points if they guess the perfect score for both teams. The leaderboard should automatically sort users from highest to lowest score based on these calculations. We're going to go ahead and add this in. Before we check it out though, you always want to go ahead and see how your app looks in mobile view which in our case looks absolutely amazing. So now let's go ahead and check the admin view. And here we can go ahead and add our actual predictions, click to calculate our scores, and see the new leaderboard. But there are a couple of extra features that you absolutely need to know about when creating an app. The first one is custom instructions. If you click right here, you can add custom instructions in the chat window that the AI will follow. The second cool feature is up here. You can actually see how many credits you're using and when the next one is going to be reloaded. And finally, you can go ahead and hide the chat window to get a better look at your app. There's one feature though that absolutely stands out from all the others and gives you way more control. This is the dashboard feature. Now before we jump into the dashboard, remember how I said Base 44 is running one of the coolest campaigns I've ever seen? They're doing a $50,000 app building contest around the big game. The idea is simple. You build an app for the big game and you could win a piece of that $50,000. I'll give more info towards the end, but honestly, you're already learning how to build an app in this video, so you might as well earn some money while you're at it. Now you can think of your dashboard as the behind the scenes of your entire app. The first one is app visibility. You want to make sure this button is toggled if you want to require access from your users. Next, you can see the data behind the app, including predictions and game outcomes. You can also connect a custom domain, which is really simple. You just click here, choose one that fits you, and follow the process that's stated. Then you can integrate other features inside your app, like Google Calendar or even a payout system. Then there's the security system, which we're going to get into a little bit later. And finally, one of the coolest features in here is the agents mode. This is one of the main things that makes Base 44 different. You can add a custom AI to your app, and we're about to do that. Now back to the interface I just showed you, there's one problem, and that is none of the data is actually secured. That can become a problem if you want to share your app beyond your immediate group. And so for that, you have prompt 2.5. Here, we want to go ahead and write, refactor the database structure to support private leagues, so users are isolated within their own friend groups. When a user signs up, they should not see the dashboard immediately, but should instead be given the option to either create a new league, which generates a unique 6-character invite code, or join an existing league using a code. Crucially, ensure strict privacy rules where the dashboard and leaderboard only display users and predictions that belong to the logged in user's specific league, while keeping the admin scoring logic global, so I only have to update the game score once for everyone. Then I'm going to go ahead and click send, and now we have a much stronger privacy policy in place. But now let's actually go back and create that agent. To add our agent, you first want to go ahead and enable it in the agent settings, and once that's done, we can go ahead and add it by simply prompting. Now just to put that in perspective, with almost any other tool or workflow, this would have taken a lot of back and forth, plus setting up third-party agents and wiring them into your site. That's what makes Base 44 different. Regular people can add powerful AI agents to apps by prompting. So let's go ahead and write our prompt. I'm going to write, let's add an AI agent to the app called the Commissioner. To make things even more engaging, give the agent a funny, roast-heavy, and authoritative personality, like a strict referee who loves drama. Add a specific feature button on the dashboard labeled, decide the loser's fate. When clicked, the agent should identify the user currently in last place on that group's leaderboard and generate a funny, low-stakes punishment for them. Additionally, allow users to chat directly with the Commissioner to ask for stats or to roast the person currently in first place. This will absolutely elevate our app, and I already see how fun this is going to be to check with all my friends. Now let's just wait for it to finish loading and test out the Commissioner. And here we have it. Let's go ahead and test it out. Here we can ask it for a roast, and it gives one back immediately. It's super funny and honestly really cool to see. Now the agent is almost done, but there's one important thing that I do need to mention, and that is debugging. Occasionally, while you're testing and building, a pop-up appears in the bottom right, letting you know there's an issue. If you click Resolve with AI, Base 44 immediately fixes the issue, completely removing you from any coding or looking through lines to see where the problem occurred, which is super nice. Now that we have our agent set up, let's actually finish the app with 2 last prompts and get it published and tested with a custom login. Prompt number 5 is going to function as a security and lockout prompt. Now don't blend it with privacy in groups. Privacy in groups is optional and it only involves the privacy of users. Security is the one that actually makes your app secure, meaning adds any rules, restrictions, or other things to make the app better functioning. I'm going to go ahead and write, add a game status toggle in the global admin panel that switches between pre-game, live, and finished. When I toggle the status to live or finished, the app must immediately disable predictions from all users to prevent cheating and display a prominent predictions locked banner on the home screen. I'm going to go ahead and click send, and now let's check it out. If you switch to the admin panel at the top, you can sort through all the options we added earlier. And so let's go ahead and switch it to live, go back to the home panel, and here we can see that it immediately locks anyone out from predicting. which is really cool. And now the final prompt is the visual polish. It's really just the things you've noticed and want to change, mostly design related. And so I'm going to go ahead and write, add a toggle between light and dark mode on the leaderboard, highlight the user who is currently in first place with a golden trophy. Display the user's prediction details in a card format that expands when I click on their name. I'll go ahead and send that prompt in and let's check it out. And everything works exactly as we wanted. Now we can switch to light or dark mode, which is great when it gets late. And so the final thing left for us to do is to go ahead and publish our app. I've connected a custom domain already, and you can set yours up by following the dashboard instructions. I'll publish the app, copy the domain, and here we are. I'm now able to log in, either pick a league or create one myself, and everything is nice and functioning. Building an app has truly never been this easy, and if you've been watching this whole video thinking about an idea you want to build, now is actually the perfect time to do it, because Base 44 is running a big game app contest with a $50,000 prize pool, where you can submit any app you build for a chance to win. The contest ends February 10th, winners get announced February 12th. If you want to get started, click the first link in the description below, build your own app, and maybe earn a bit extra along the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.